Hi, it's Lindsay Diane from DianeDecor.com. In this video, we're going to talk all about dining room wall sculptures. We'll talk about the different styles that are available, where to buy, and how to properly size your wall sculpture for your particular dining room. Let's get started. The right wall decor can really transform your space. And in a dining room, you want something that stands out, that's a conversation starter. It's a place where people are really going to be sitting right in front of that artwork. And so you want to make it really interesting and really bold. And wall sculptures bring a three-dimensional element that can really make your wall stand out in a way that a flat 2D piece of wall art can't. So in this video, we're going to go through the different types of wall sculptures that you can find, and then we will go on to talk about where you can buy them and how to properly size them for your space. The first type of wall sculpture is going to be a metal sculpture. Now these are going to give you more of an industrial modern vibe. You're also going to find these in a limited amount of colors or finishes. Because it's metal, odds are you're going to see a silver toned, sometimes they may be painted matte black, but odds are you're going to get a silver or a bronze or a coppery kind of color with your metal wall sculpture. Now these are great because you can get different styles of metalwork. You can have pieces that have been bent and forged into certain shapes. You can find ones that have that hammered metal look to them. There are a lot of different varieties within the metal wall sculpture family. More often than not, if you're searching for an abstract design, you're going to find it in a metal wall sculpture. These pieces of wall decor are, of course, easy to maintain. It's sort of you install it and you don't really have to do much to it. Occasionally, you may need to do a little bit of dusting, but that's few and far between. For the most part, these are a low maintenance piece. The next type of wall sculpture is the wood wall sculpture. So if you want to add some warmth and a more organic feel into your space, consider going with a wood wall sculpture. Of course, you are going to find quite a range of wood stains when you're going for something that is, of course, made out of wood. So you may find something that's in a dark, deep mahogany, or you may find something that's in a pale, sort of beachy, gray, driftwood color, and everything in between. When it comes to wood wall sculptures, you just need to be a little bit mindful of whether or not this is a sealed piece. You don't want too much moisture getting to it if it's not. So know that going in when you read the description, because if you are thinking maybe I want it on my patio, for my dining room in the patio, you may need to make sure that that piece is sealed to be able to withhold some moisture and the elements, versus if you're just going to have it inside your home. There are a lot of rustic reclaimed wood wall sculptures available. So if you have that rustic or farmhouse or boho look, this may be a great option for a wall sculpture for your dining room. You can also use a wood wall sculpture to help complement the wood tones that are already in your space. So your dining room table, a sideboard, a buffet cabinet, your dining room chairs. Think about that when you are choosing the tone of wood for your dining room wall sculpture. Next, you have living walls. Now these are usually made of a preserved moss or succulents or even some faux plants. They're really a lot of fun to look at. I particularly love this style of wall sculpture. You can see them in a variety of different patterns and configurations. You may find them framed in a large rectangular frame, or you may find some that are more freeform that hang on the wall. Either way, they're a great way to bring a lot of greenery into your space and have a really, really interesting look. Now you may have some care instructions that go along with your living wall sculpture, although as far as I know, it's not a lot of high maintenance for the moss. You may have to spray it occasionally, but I would say definitely look at whoever you're purchasing it from, see what the care instructions are. More often than not, you're just going to have some preserved moss that you don't need to do anything with, or you have faux succulents inside of it that you really don't need to do anything with because they're artificial. If you want to bring some vibrancy into your space and you really want to bring the outdoors inside, a living wall sculpture is the way to go. Last but not least are balls, orbs, and sets. Now, you will find a lot of wall sculptures that are actually being sold as individual pieces that are meant for you to put them together in a gallery wall style. So they may be a single string of something, or you may see these little orbs or little squares that are slices of a tree trunk or something like that, and they're meant to be hung in a series. Sometimes they may be selling them in different sizes, but odds are when you see these pieces and you see a beautiful array of the same item, they're actually selling the individual item, and you need to purchase multiples of that in order to get the look in the picture. But they do make a really beautiful look, especially if you have a large wall that you need to fill out. A piece of wall sculpture or a piece of artwork is only going to be but so big until it starts to come in panels. However, if you have individual pieces that you are assembling to create a display, this is going to help you cover a larger area easily. That being said, you have to kind of pay attention to the pricing here, because the individual items may be a little bit more expensive than you expect. And when you're saying, I want 9 of them or 12 of them to make this really beautiful display, it can add up quickly. But the balls, the orbs, and the sets are another easy way to bring in a sculptural or 3D element into your dining room space. So where can you find affordable wall sculptures? The first place that you're going to want to look if you want something really unique is to go to Etsy. Now, the price can get a little bit high on some of these, but for the most part, they are very affordable at Etsy. You can also find them at Bed Bath & Beyond, which was, it has the overstock inventory kind of infused into it now. So overstock is gone, overstock and Bed Bath & Beyond merged, and so now it's just Bed Bath & Beyond. They have a massive inventory because of their merger with Overstock. And so this is a great place to find some wall sculptures, particularly metal wall sculptures. Wayfair is another good spot for these metal wall sculptures and the ones that come in sets, like the balls and the orbs. They have a large selection of those as well. And then you're going to want to check Amazon. Amazon is probably going to be the best as far as pricing is concerned out of all of these, and you'll find a really wide variety here as well. So once you've narrowed down your wall sculpture type, you want to make sure that it's properly sized for your wall so you get the best impact out of that piece of artwork. Now, the conventional calculation for sizing wall art is to multiply the width of your wall by 0.6 and the height of your wall by 0.6. This will give you the low end range for how wide and tall your piece of artwork should be. The high end range is often said to be 0.75, so you would multiply the length by 0.75 and the height by 0.75. Now, this is not the figure that I'm going to recommend to you, and I will tell you why. This particular figure does not take into consideration 2 very important things. One, you are in a dining room space, an enclosed dining room space that is already mostly taken up by a table and chairs. You do not have the space to sort of stand back and admire this piece as if you were in a gallery. And because of that, that sizing is off. You are not going to want to measure your height of your wall from the floor all the way up and then use 3/4 of that, or even 2/3 of that. That's going to be way too big. Your painting is going to land at like your waist or your knees, and that's way too low to be viewing even at standing height or at sitting height. The second reason why I think that this figure or this calculation does not work for a dining room is that often we have sideboards in our dining room. So you may have it as a buffet sideboard situation. You're storing dishes, or you're using it to house your serving platters or something like that. You don't want artwork that's going to fall below that, right? You already have a piece of furniture here, so you need to measure from that space up. And again, you're not going to go so far up that you're craning your head if you have a double height ceiling or something like that. So I'm going to give you the figure, and I'm going to show you why this figure works on my screen. So here's the calculation that I recommend. You want to do the length of your wall times 0.6, and that will give you a rough estimation of how wide your artwork should be. Now the height, you're going to want to take your height of your wall. For the most part, the average wall height is probably going to be about 9 feet. If you're in an older home, you're probably going to have a lower ceiling. Sometimes if you are in a more modern home and you have this double height ceiling, you're not measuring all the way up the double height, right? Just go with 9 feet and you should be good. And you're going to want to subtract 4 feet from that 9. So if your wall is 9 feet, subtract 4, because that's going to bring you to about the height of a side table. Or it's going to bring you to about waist level for a person. And then take that figure. So in our example, 9 minus 4, you're going to get 5 feet times 0.6. And that is going to give me a rough estimate for a height for my wall sculpture. I'm going to show you how it looks in an illustration here. I'm in sort of an AutoCAD type program, and I'm going to show you how that lays out. Okay, so you can see here I have an elevation laid out for you. I have my wall at 12 feet long and 9 feet high. I have in here what would be the equivalent of an 8-seater dining table. So it's 8 feet long. You can see I have 3 chairs lined up here in the elevation. You would have 2 more chairs on either end and another 3 on the opposite side. That would put you at 8 seats altogether. But what I want you to see is the size of the artwork here. So you see this piece of artwork here. I have gotten these dimensions by using the calculation of your 12 feet times 0.6. That got me to 7.2, or otherwise around 86 inches. And then the 9 feet minus 4 equals 5 feet times 0.6, and that gets me 3 feet, or otherwise 36 inches. And you can see how perfectly sized this piece of artwork is for the space. It is large, it's bold, but it's not so big that it's hanging below the height of the chairs, or so tall that someone who's standing is going to have to crane their neck up to see it. So this is the calculation in action. Feel free to use this. I will put it in the description box below in case you just want to copy and paste it for your own reference. That is how you would calculate the size of your wall sculpture. So don't forget to explore the different types of wall sculptures, the metal, wood, living walls, and the balls, orbs, or sets. Any of these would make a beautiful showpiece for a dining room. And then go over to Amazon or Wayfair or Bed Bath & Beyond or Etsy and start checking some options out. You should be able to find something for the average dining room under $400 for a wall sculpture. These are well worth the investment and will really make a beautiful, beautiful addition to your dining room. I hope you found this helpful. Don't forget to visit me at DianeDecor.com. I post all about home decorating ideas and inspiration over there. If you like this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.